Red has always been one of the most powerful colors in royal fashion. Bold, elegant, and impossible to overlook, a magnificent red gown can transform a royal appearance into an unforgettable fashion moment. From historic palace banquets to glamorous gala evenings, these gowns have shown just how spectacular the color can look when combined with royal jewels, couture design, and the confidence of the woman wearing it. So, let's count down the top 10 most beautiful red gowns worn by royals. Number 10. Princess Eugenie's Vivienne Westwood Red Gown. 2011 starting our countdown is Princess Eugenie of York in a striking red Vivienne Westwood gown worn to the white tie and tiara ball in London in 2011. The occasion was one of the most glamorous events on the British social calendar, bringing together members of the royal family and prominent figures for an evening of formal fashion and spectacular jewelry. Eugenie's choice of red immediately made her stand out. The floor-length gown featured the distinctive, structured elegance associated with Vivienne Westwood, while the vivid red shade gave the entire look a confident and youthful character. Rather than relying on excessive embellishment, the powerful color and dramatic silhouette did most of the work. That is exactly what makes a red gown so effective. Red does not need much help to command attention, and when a royal enters a grand room wearing a full-length red gown, the color itself becomes part of the spectacle. Under the lights of a formal gala, it creates a striking contrast against the darker evening wear surrounding it. Eugenie embraced that effect beautifully. The gown also reflected the changing approach to royal fashion among the younger generation. There was still the traditional elegance expected at a white tie event, but the Vivienne Westwood design felt more contemporary and individual. Westwood was famous for creating fashion with a strong personality, and that made the designer an interesting choice for Eugenie. The gown allowed her to look completely regal while still maintaining a sense of modern confidence, and the setting helped. A white tie and tiara event is one of the rare occasions when a royal can embrace the full drama of evening wear. Long gowns, sparkling jewelry, and formal styling are all part of the atmosphere, and Eugenie's red gown fit naturally into that world. It was glamorous without becoming overly complicated, and dramatic without losing its elegance. Most importantly, the gown photographs beautifully. That matters when we're talking about the most beautiful royal gowns. A dress can look impressive in person, but the truly memorable designs are the ones whose silhouette, color, and details remain striking even in a single photograph. Eugenie's Vivienne Westwood gown does exactly that. The vivid red color provides the immediate impact, while the long silhouette gives the look the elegance expected from a formal royal appearance. It may not have the decades of history attached to some of the gowns higher on our list, but it demonstrates something important about modern royal fashion. A royal gown can be youthful, fashionable, and individual while still looking completely appropriate for an elegant formal occasion. And with its dramatic red color, unmistakable designer style, and glamorous white tie setting, Princess Eugenie's Vivienne Westwood gown earns the number 10 position. Number 9. Princess Diana's Belleville Sassoon Red and Gold Gown. 1981 moving into number 9, we travel back to the very beginning of Princess Diana's extraordinary royal fashion story. This is the dazzling red and gold gown by Belleville Sassoon that Diana wore to the London premiere of For Your Eyes Only in June 1981, only weeks before her wedding to Prince Charles. The photographs from that evening remain some of the most recognizable images of Diana's early royal years. The gown immediately commanded attention with its rich red fabric and delicate gold embellishment, creating a beautiful contrast between the warmth of the color and the sparkle of the detailing. Its soft, flowing construction also gave the dress a romantic quality that suited Diana perfectly at this stage of her life. She was only 20 years old, had recently become engaged to the future king, and suddenly almost every public appearance she made was being photographed around the world. This was the beginning of Diana's transformation from a shy young aristocrat into one of the most famous women on the planet. Belleville Sassoon became an important part of that transformation, with the British couture house creating numerous outfits for Diana during her early years in the royal spotlight. The For Your Eyes Only gown was particularly effective because it did not overwhelm her. The red provided drama, the gold added sparkle, and the flowing silhouette kept the overall appearance youthful and graceful. It was glamorous, but it was not excessively mature. That balance was important for Diana because she was still developing her public identity. Looking at the photographs today, you can almost see the fashion icon she would become beginning to emerge. The gown also demonstrates why red has always worked so well for royal evening wear. It photographs beautifully. Under the bright lights of a film premiere, the color becomes even more intense, while the gold embellishment catches the light and gives the dress a luxurious quality. And fortunately for our countdown, this is another gown with strong image availability. There are numerous archival photographs from the premiere showing Diana in the complete gown, making it easy to appreciate the color, shape, and gold detailing. For its romantic color combination, delicate sparkle, and importance in the beginning of Diana's fashion journey, this Belleville Sassoon creation earns number 9. Number 8, Queen Letizia's Red Lorenzo Capriole Gown. 2004 number 8 is Queen Letizia of Spain, wearing a striking red gown by Spanish designer Lorenzo Caprile during the celebrations surrounding the wedding of Crown Prince Frederick and Crown Princess Mary of Denmark in 2010 Sauber 40, Tiemvresan Man bebrand Fabrise and Fauber. At the time, Letizia was still Princess of Asturias, but appearances like this were already helping establish her as one of Europe's most stylish future queens. The gown's intense red color immediately made it stand out, while the elegant silhouette gave the look a sophisticated and distinctly Spanish character. Red would eventually become one of the defining colors of Letizia's wardrobe, and this early appearance showed just how effectively she could use the shade. What makes the gown particularly beautiful is its balance. The powerful color provides the drama, while the relatively refined construction prevents the look from becoming overwhelming. Letizia has often approached royal fashion in exactly this way. She can choose an attention-grabbing color while keeping the overall silhouette polished and elegant. And there is something especially fitting about a Spanish royal wearing such a commanding shade of red. Over the years, Letizia has repeatedly returned to red for important public appearances, turning the color into something of a signature. This gown therefore represents an important early chapter in that fashion story. It also photographs extremely well, with archival images clearly showing the full-length design and its rich color. At a major royal wedding celebration surrounded by other European royals, Letizia's red gown ensured that she did not disappear into the crowd. Instead, she created a look that was elegant, confident, and distinctly her own. For its vibrant color, Spanish couture heritage, and place in the development of Letizia's sophisticated royal style, this Lorenzo Caprile gown earns the number 8 position. Number 7, Queen Elizabeth II's red evening gown with crystal detailing. 2005 at number 7 is Queen Elizabeth II in a magnificent red evening gown with crystal detailing, worn for the Royal Variety performance in Cardiff, Wales, in November 2005. Unlike the bright coats and dresses that became such a recognizable part of the Queen's daytime wardrobe, this was a true formal evening look, with the rich red color giving her appearance a much more glamorous quality. The gown featured sparkling crystal decoration that caught the light beautifully, adding just enough brilliance to the strong red fabric without overwhelming it. Photographs from the Royal Variety performance clearly show the Queen in the full gown, making this another particularly useful entry for our countdown because there is plenty of archival imagery available. Getty has extensive collections of Queen Elizabeth II in evening dress, while contemporary photo archives also preserve her formal appearances from this period. The choice of red was also perfectly suited to the Queen's approach to fashion. Elizabeth Sad understood the importance of visibility, and strong colors helped ensure that she could be recognized instantly in large public settings. But here, the red was elevated beyond her usual daytime style by the gown's sparkling embellishment and formal silhouette. The result was elegant rather than flashy. It also demonstrated how the Queen could transition effortlessly from the brightly colored outfits associated with her public engagements into sophisticated evening wear for major cultural occasions. The Royal Variety performance was particularly appropriate for such a gown because the event itself celebrates entertainment, performance, and spectacle. Under the theater lights, the crystal detailing would have shimmered against the deep red fabric, giving the Queen a distinctly regal presence. And that combination of color and sparkle is exactly what makes this gown memorable. It may not have the dramatic train of some modern royal creations, but its beauty comes from the way the red fabric and crystal details work together. The Queen's jewelry and formal styling completed the ensemble without competing with the gown itself. For its rich color, sparkling details, strong photographic record, and classic royal elegance, Queen Elizabeth II's red evening gown earns number 7. Number 6, Queen Mary of Denmark's red Uffe Frank gown. 2004, taking the number 6 position is Queen Mary of Denmark, in a spectacular red gown by Danish designer Uffe Frank, worn on the eve of her wedding to Crown Prince Frederik in 2004. At the time, Mary Donaldson had not yet become a princess or queen, but this glamorous appearance already gave the world a glimpse of the royal fashion figure she would become. The gown was created in rich red fabric and featured a dramatic, structured silhouette that immediately commanded attention. Its full skirt gave the dress a grand, almost historical quality, while the fitted upper portion kept the overall shape elegant and sophisticated. Mary paired the gown with the Danish ruby parure, creating one of the most beautiful red and ruby combinations in modern European royal fashion. The deep red gemstones of the historic jewelry echoed the color of the gown, producing a remarkably cohesive appearance. Rather than simply adding jewelry to an evening dress, Mary created an entire color story. Red fabric, red gemstones, and formal royal styling came together to produce an ensemble that looked almost designed as a single piece. The timing also makes this gown particularly special. Mary wore it during the celebrations immediately before her wedding, meaning the photographs belonged to the final moments before she entered the Danish royal family. She was about to become Crown Princess of Denmark, and the gown already gave her an unmistakably regal appearance. Uffe Frank would go on to design Mary's wedding gown as well, making his role in her transformation from Australian-born commoner to future queen especially significant. The red gown itself remains one of the most visually dramatic pieces from that period of her life. The full skirt creates beautiful movement in photographs, while the intense red shade gives the dress a powerful presence. And because the event was surrounded by the enormous media attention of a royal wedding, there is an excellent photographic record of Mary's appearance. For its dramatic silhouette, spectacular ruby jewelry, and extraordinary place in Mary's royal story, this Uffe Frank creation earns number 6, number 5, Catherine, Princess of Wales's red Jenny Packham gown. 2022 breaking into the top 5 is Catherine, Princess of Wales, in a breathtaking red Jenny Packham gown worn to the diplomatic reception at Buckingham Palace in December 2022. The reception was one of the most formal occasions in the British royal calendar, bringing together diplomats and members of the royal family for an evening of white tie glamour. Catherine took full advantage of the occasion, appearing in a rich red gown covered with shimmering embellishment. The color was immediately striking, but the gown became even more spectacular when paired with historic royal jewelry. Catherine wore the lotus flower tiara, a piece with a long connection to the British royal family, along with diamond earrings that had belonged to Queen Elizabeth II. The contrast between the modern Jenny Packham gown and the historic jewels was extraordinary. The dress represented contemporary British fashion, while the tiara connected Catherine to generations of royal history. And red was the perfect color for bringing those two elements together. Against the rich fabric, the diamonds and pearls of the tiara appeared even brighter under the chandeliers of Buckingham Palace. The gown itself was glamorous without being excessively complicated. Its shimmering surface provided plenty of visual interest, while the elegant shape kept the overall appearance refined. That balance is one of Catherine's greatest strengths as a formal dresser. She understands that a royal evening ensemble does not need every element competing for attention. Instead, the gown, jewelry, and wearer should work together. This particular appearance also has excellent image availability, with numerous photographs showing Catherine from head to toe and close-up images revealing the gown's sparkling details. That makes it especially valuable for our video, because viewers can actually appreciate the full design rather than seeing only a cropped portrait. The 2022 diplomatic reception therefore gave us one of Catherine's most successful combinations of modern couture and traditional royal glamour. For its vibrant red color, glittering details, magnificent jewelry, and unforgettable Buckingham Palace setting, Catherine's Jenny Packham gown takes number 5. Number 4, Queen Maxima's Red Valentino. Gown at number 4 is Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, wearing a spectacular red Valentino gown that perfectly captures her fearless approach to royal evening wear. Maxima has developed a reputation for embracing bold colors, dramatic silhouettes, and magnificent jewelry, and red is one of the shades she wears with particular confidence. This Valentino creation is an excellent example of that style. The rich red color immediately dominates the look, while the flowing silhouette gives the gown an elegant sense of movement. Rather than appearing overly severe, the fabric creates softness as it falls around the body, allowing the powerful color to remain glamorous and feminine. And then there is Maxima's jewelry. The Dutch queen is known for wearing some of the most spectacular pieces from the Dutch royal collection, and her ability to combine major jewels with couture gowns is one of the defining features of her formal style. With the red Valentino gown, the effect is particularly impressive because the strong color provides a dramatic background for sparkling diamonds and other royal jewels. Maxima has never been a royal who avoids fashion drama. While some modern royals prefer minimalist evening wear, she frequently embraces the theatrical qualities of couture, and that willingness to take risks has produced some of her most memorable appearances. This gown is beautiful precisely because it does not try to disappear into the background. It commands attention while still maintaining elegance. The silhouette remains sophisticated, the color is rich and luxurious, and the overall styling feels completely appropriate for a queen. There is also a practical advantage for our countdown. Maxima's formal appearances are extensively photographed, and images of her in red Valentino creations are widely available through royal fashion archives and media coverage. That gives us plenty of visual material to show the gown from different angles. For its bold color, graceful movement, couture glamour, and unmistakable Queen Maxima confidence, this red Valentino gown earns number 4. Number 3, Queen Camilla's red Fiona Claire velvet gown. 2023 entering, the top 3 is Queen Camilla, wearing a magnificent red velvet gown by Fiona Claire at the South Korean State Banquet at Buckingham Palace in November 2023. This was royal evening wear at its most traditional and dramatic. The banquet formed part of South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's state visit to Britain, meaning the setting was already one of the grandest occasions in the royal calendar. Camilla's choice of deep red velvet was therefore perfectly suited to the atmosphere. Velvet has a special quality in evening wear because it absorbs light differently from satin or silk, giving the fabric extraordinary depth. In a rich red shade, that effect becomes even more dramatic. The gown looked luxurious beneath the chandeliers of Buckingham Palace, while the fitted silhouette gave Camilla a polished and sophisticated appearance. But the jewelry transformed the look completely. Camilla wore the Burmese ruby tiara, creating a remarkable connection between the red velvet and the deep red gemstones. The effect was almost jewel-like, with the gown providing a rich red foundation and the tiara adding flashes of ruby above it. The Burmese ruby tiara was created for Queen Elizabeth II in 1973 using rubies presented to her by the people of Burma. So Camilla's appearance brought together modern British couture and an important piece of royal history. This is exactly why royal fashion can be so fascinating. A gown can be beautiful on its own, but when it is worn during a historic diplomatic occasion and paired with jewelry that has decades of royal history behind it, the image becomes much more significant. The photographs from the state banquet are also exceptionally strong, with full-length images clearly showing Camilla's gown, tiara, and overall styling. The rich red velvet, glittering rubies, and grand Buckingham Palace setting created one of the most cohesive royal evening looks of recent years. For its luxurious texture, spectacular color coordination, and extraordinary combination of modern fashion with historic royal jewelry, Queen Camilla's Fiona Claire gown earns number 3. Number 2, Princess Diana's red Bruce Oldfield gown. Taking the number 2 position is Princess Diana in a spectacular red Bruce Oldfield gown, representing one of the most sophisticated chapters of her fashion evolution. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Diana had moved far beyond the youthful style that had defined her early years in the royal family. She had become a confident international fashion icon, and designers such as Bruce Oldfield played an important role in creating that more mature image. A dramatic red gown was therefore a natural choice. The powerful color immediately gave Diana a commanding presence, while the elegant construction kept the overall appearance refined. What makes Diana's red evening wear particularly effective is the way she understood the relationship between color and occasion. She could choose a striking shade without allowing the dress to become overwhelming. Instead, the color became part of her overall presence. By this stage of her life, Diana knew exactly how to use fashion to communicate confidence and sophistication. Her evening gowns were no longer simply about looking like a princess. They were about creating a recognizable personal style. Bruce Oldfield was particularly important to that transformation because his designs offered Diana a more polished and glamorous alternative to some of the softer styles associated with her early royal wardrobe. The red gown demonstrates that evolution beautifully. It is bold enough to command attention, but elegant enough to remain timeless. And when photographed, the effect is even stronger. Red creates an immediate visual impact, while the sophisticated silhouette gives the gown a sense of movement and presence. Diana's fashion archive is also exceptionally well documented, with extensive Getty and editorial photography making images of her formal appearances relatively easy to locate. That is particularly important for our countdown because we want gowns that are not only beautiful, but visually usable. Diana's red Bruce Oldfield look certainly meets that standard. It captures the moment when she had become completely confident in her role as one of the world's most photographed women. For its dramatic color, sophisticated silhouette, and connection to Diana's transformation into a global fashion icon, the red Bruce Oldfield gown earns number 2. Number 1, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex's Carolina Herrera red gown, 2021. And finally, taking the number 1 position is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, in the spectacular red Carolina Herrera gown she wore to the Salute to Freedom Gala in New York in November 2021. Designed by Wes Gordon for Carolina Herrera, the gown was one of the most dramatic red royal looks of the modern era. Meghan arrived at the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum with Prince Harry for the gala, and the dress immediately became the focus of the evening. Its vivid scarlet color was impossible to overlook, but the silhouette made the gown even more spectacular. The design featured a plunging neckline, a fitted column shape, a dramatic slit, and a sweeping train attached at the waist. The combination gave the dress both structure and movement, creating a powerful image from every angle. British Vogue later noted that Meghan wore the same Carolina Herrera gown again at the 2024 Children's Hospital Los Angeles Gala, although on that occasion she removed the original sweeping train and presented the dress in a simpler column silhouette. But it was the original 2021 appearance that truly established the gown as an unforgettable fashion moment. The styling was also remarkably effective. Meghan kept the jewelry relatively restrained, allowing the red gown itself to remain the center of attention. Her dark hair was styled away from her face, creating a clean contrast with the bright scarlet fabric. The result was glamorous without becoming excessive. And unlike a gown designed primarily for a palace banquet, this Carolina Herrera creation was perfectly suited to the atmosphere of New York. The Intrepid Museum, the nighttime setting, and the presence of cameras and celebrities created a very different environment from a traditional European state banquet. The gown therefore represented a modern interpretation of royal glamour, less about inherited ceremony and more about confidence, couture, and red carpet impact. It is also one of the easiest gowns on this list to illustrate visually. There are numerous photographs from the 2021 gala showing Meghan from the front, side, and full length, while fashion publications have repeatedly revisited the dress. The fact that she wore it again in 2024 has only increased the amount of photographic coverage surrounding the design. Ultimately, what makes the gown worthy of number 1 is its sheer visual power. The scarlet color commands attention, the dramatic silhouette creates movement, the train adds grandeur, and Meghan's styling keeps the entire appearance polished. It is modern, glamorous, and unmistakably memorable. For its breathtaking red color, dramatic Carolina Herrera design, exceptional photographic presence, and unforgettable New York setting, Meghan's Carolina Herrera gown takes the number 1 spot. From Princess Diana's early red and gold glamour to the spectacular modern creations worn by today's royals, these gowns prove that red remains one of the most powerful colors in royal fashion. Whether paired with historic rubies, sparkling diamonds, or simply allowed to stand on its own, a magnificent red gown has the ability to turn an ordinary appearance into a fashion moment that lasts for decades. But which royal wore red the best? Was it Princess Diana, Queen Camilla, Catherine, Queen Maxima, or Meghan? Let us know your favorite in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for another Royal Fashion Countdown.